inom det här området ett tag då. Först ett stort tack till er som är här idag. Fantastiskt kul att få vara i det här forumet och få prata och lyssna. Prata med er och lyssna kring era utmaningar skulle jag vilja säga. Och era möjligheter som ni har. Så det är vi väldigt glada för att få göra då så att säga. Som vi berättade innan, Anders är här idag och jag är här idag då. Och de här kontaktuppgifterna om ni har frågor och sånt sen får ni så att det kan Jens dela med er efter det här mötet om ni vill. Ta kontakt med oss. Alla frågor är välkomna och funderingar så ska vi försöka hjälpa så gott vi kan kring den biten. Salesforce är ju ett företag av 24 år av innovation. Vi började 1999 och det är ett molnbaserat fokus i bolaget där vi har ett plattformstänk ska jag väl säga där man tittar på kunden från alla håll. Och vi har ett fokus då på lösningar för marknadsföring, kommunikation, information, försäljning, kundservice, hantering av stora mängder av data, AI och integration skulle jag säga då. Och under de här 24 åren så har vi byggt den här plattformen för att bli en plattform som kan hantera det mesta. Med det sagt så kan man ju börja i en lite mindre skala och inte behöva ta det stora perspektivet direkt från början då. Och det kommer ni se lite mer när Paul förklarar hur de jobbar då. Så det kan vara ett väldigt bra case att ta del av idag då. Vi har ju då över 200 000 kunder över hela världen och de finns ju i alla typer av branscher och det är inom privat sektor som offentlig sektor. Det som är det fina är ju att de korsbefruktar i varandra så att de lär av varandra. Så i det här forumet så liksom när vi tittar på hotell, hotell och kanske då järnväg men även flyg men även detaljhandeln, de korsbefruktar varandra. De är väldigt personintensiva branscher men de är också väldigt transaktionsintensiva då. Så här har vi både stora och små kunder som vi jobbar med då. Och med det sagt så skulle jag vilja lämna över till GVB för det är därför vi är här idag för att Paul ska förklara lite mer kring hur de har jobbat, vilka utmaningar de har haft, vilka möjligheter de ser, hur de vill jobba framåt. So over to you, Paul. Will you do some kind of introduction before Jens, or otherwise we'll go directly to Paul?
I think we can just move on to you, Paul. So please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will take the introduction within also within my presentation. So we'll share the screen that I have. Just a sec. Right. Yeah, so a quick introduction. So my name is Paul van Arendonk. So that's the full pronunciation of my last name also. Working at GVB as within the marketing department, responsible for growth in our amount of travelers and growth in our revenue from those travelers. So also responsible for propositions, new products, campaigns, everything that's involving getting like the customer relationship that we have with different target groups better and stronger, and especially now with some developments that I will talk about later on. We have a couple of exciting moments that we are looking forward to grow on further on 24 and the years to come. But first I will tell a little bit more about GVB, and it I think a fun way to do it is telling a bit about GVB in Amsterdam and our role in Amsterdam. And so we do all public transport in and around Amsterdam with our buses, metros, trams, and ferries. And we are very involved, of course, within everything that's happening and developing within Amsterdam itself. And a big, maybe a known event is like one of them is Amsterdam Dance Event, but also, of course, the Amsterdam Marathon, the Pride. So I can name a couple of the things that are really like typical things that are only or happening big in Amsterdam and attract a lot of tourists, but also a lot of visitors from around the country. And Amsterdam Dance Event was like the latest one that we had with a record amount of visitors that took part in the event, and we were like the public transport partner of Amsterdam Dance Event, and also did a lot of combined campaigns with the Amsterdam Dance Event and ourselves to attract more visitors that would go to all the venues around the city by using our public transport. And we were very excited, of course, in collaborating with this well-known event in our city of Amsterdam, where we are, of course, also a big supporter of everything that's happening in and around the city, where we can move people from one direction to the other, and making sure that we are visible at these type of events. So this is why I took this picture along, because it's like happened in last October, so not that long ago, and it's driving in front of our head office. So you also get a quick view of our head office that is located in Amsterdam and near a big train station where also our metros and buses and trams are departing. Then a little bit more about GVB itself. So we were founded in the 1900s. So we are celebrating our 125th birthday in 2025. So it's almost we are already preparing some celebrations for upcoming year towards our big celebration in January 1st on 2025. We are working with around 5,000 colleagues. So at the head office, it's around 200-300. Of course, main of our colleagues are on the buses and the trains and on the road. We do around 700,000 travelers per day. Our revenue from mainly from our passengers from 2022 was around 280 million. And we have also placed in the amount of metros and tram buses and ferries that we have within our entire fleet. So just to give a bit of a heads up on how many vehicles we operate, and of course not all of them at once, but we have in our fleet available for the city of Amsterdam. So that's a bit of numbers and a bit of an introduction of GVB and our role in Amsterdam itself. Of course, we have some topics that I want to bring, and also some questions that I shared, and I hope that we can discuss later on. But I think we have some similar challenges that you find in my presentation that you can relate to, I think. But also, I hope that we can learn from a couple of things that you are maybe already further along with, or already are more experienced with than we are at the moment. So I took some trends and developments in public transport focused on our area and our country. Some challenges that we face now, and that's also a bit of where the questions are coming from that I sent out earlier. So some trends and developments. As expected, and I think that this is like one of the similar things that I guess it's not only in Amsterdam, it's not only in the Netherlands. It's more of a global trend. But after Corona, the frequency of our travelers had decreased, and we still see quite an amount of people who now are showing different travel behavior. So they travel less often. They travel on different times. They travel not only mainly during rush hour, but more spread out to the day. And also we see some developments, of course, in our tourist groups that are also increasing slowly and steady, but it's still still a little bit of a challenge to find all those tourists, especially from all the different countries that they are coming from, and get them into public transport because of all the options that you have in and around Amsterdam. But one of them is, of course, the different travel behavior. The new one, we call it OVP, but it's the working title that we have within the Netherlands for checking in and out with your debit card and credit card and your smartphone. So that's introduced in 2022 at the end of the year. So this year we had like a full year of a new new way of paying for your travels, and it's now live on all the public transport companies within the Netherlands. So you can use it everywhere, but it's still only for just like the normal prices, so the normal tariffs that you have. So not everyone has their discount products available yet on this new payment method. But OVP is like a big new way of public transport that goes from a more card base that we had with our OV chip card, as it was called, going through a debit card and credit card payment, and that's more like account based, and that's like a whole new game for us to develop and to see what kind of opportunities that has to offer. So we're right in the middle of exploring and developing new products and new services that fit this new payment method. And of course, the third one, and I don't know how familiar that one is, but especially in the Netherlands, it's quite hard now to find drivers for our vehicles. So we have a challenge on our staff, especially on our staff that's on the road and on the trains. But yeah, that's like more like a nationwide thing that makes it harder for the entire sector to find enough people to operate all the vehicles that we have, and of course that also impacts our our punctuality, our main service, of course, because sometimes some of the lines fall out because of the lack of personnel that we have, or the lack of staff that we have. So this big challenge, especially for our HR department, but of course it affects the entire company because that's your main product. So that's something that we also take within our team to look up. Okay, how can we help each other out and find different ways of servicing customers to take maybe different routes or different ways of public transport, so that they still get a comfortable journey, but with the knowledge that we are still looking to get more staff on this part. So these are like three big topics that are also within our department and within our teams are high on our agenda, and that we are focusing on, especially I think also for the next year and even the year after that. So these are like three things that I want to point out, and then the challenge that come from that, and I mentioned it a bit earlier. So like the tourists in Amsterdam, and we have like a still a really high amount of tourists that are coming to the Netherlands, and that is like growing really fast. And we of course had within Corona and after Corona, we also need some time to get back to the numbers that we had before, mainly on this group specific. But now we see that the numbers are only growing, and that the tourists are finding their way in and around Amsterdam once again. But it also gives us an opportunity to focus on the different groups, and we see a lot of tourists coming from Germany, also from the States, from the UK. So we are trying to develop our products more to the needs of those tourists that come here for a couple of days or for a couple of weeks, and have a better fit in our product line that they can choose from and get around Amsterdam easily and quickly, and making it easier for them to learn how it works and how you can travel around the city. But it's a pretty big challenge for us to do that, because of all the different languages and the different ways of what they are used to travel in their own country. So for example, in the UK, they already of course also have public transport by using a debit card, but in Germany they don't. So you see also a different behavior, and also for us, we need to communicate differently to those groups and target them at the most early moment as possible to tell them, okay, you can use your debit card, or if you don't want to use your debit card, we also have like products that you can buy directly from our app or from our website. So it's a different approach to different groups, but yeah, we have, we see a lot of opportunities here, and it's, really with all the events that are happening in Amsterdam, it's a lot of, big moments and big, crowded moments that we have during the year that we want to be visible as much as possible. Like I mentioned, OVP, as we call it, traveling with debit and credit card is a big challenge. And the main challenge that that me and my team are now focusing on is getting new products on this new technique. So on this new platform that we created with all the other public transport companies. And with new products, I mean also different type of discount products or different kind of reward products that give the customers more more benefits as long as they use our public transport more often. So an example, of course, is a discount that you get when you travel like more times a week. So the discount goes up as long as you also travel more with us. So it's based on your travel behavior, how much discount you will get. But we also have like discounts, and this is an example that you can see here in the picture, that you can buy a discount with a monthly amount that you pay, like a subscription that you pay every month, and you get like a specific discount during the entire period of the time. But we were able to create that discount on the debit card, so not a card from ourselves or like a specific thing that you have to get in your wallet or have to get installed on your phone. No, it's going straight to your debit card. And if you use your debit card after you applied for the subscription, then you get the discount straight from your debit card, straight from your debit card bill. So the discount will be calculated straight from your account. So we were in the Netherlands the first ones to create this discount product on the debit card, and we went live in September, so it's just a couple of months ago, and are now looking to further increase our portfolio with new products that are focused on the debit card, which we believe makes it much more easier for the customer to travel with, but also making it easier to not having an extra card in their wallet, or not having an extra app needed, or having all these kind of hurdles that they can find along the way, but making sure that what they are already used to buy their coffee or their sandwiches or whatever they do with their debit card, to also combine it with our public transport subscriptions, and also be able to give them discount straight on their debit card. So this big thing that we also especially are moving forward to, and further increase our number of accounts, of course, instead of our numbers of cards, and have a customer relationship based on their travel behavior or their use of the product, and communicate with specific campaigns targeted on those customers that use their debit card and this discount product in combination. So this a new approach that of course we also use tooling like Salesforce to do this, and to communicate with our customers that have an account and travel with us. And another one, and I think, and this is also what I'm really curious about on how that's developed and how far you are in Sweden with this, but we of course also want to work together with other ways of transport in Amsterdam. And the city of Amsterdam is really focused on getting all the cars out of the city center as much as possible. So recently they just went live with 30 kilometers per hour in the city. So it was 50 that you could drive with your car, but now it's like 30 everywhere. the city center, so you have to really slow down with your car, and of course it takes a little bit longer to get to your destination, but it's really a message that they want to send. Okay, it's, for public safety, but also for the crowd, the lack of space in the center for cars, that they want to make sure that people first consider other ways of public transport or bike or walking or anything else, but like they're really focused on getting as much as cars out of the city center as possible. And of course, we play a big role in that with our public transport, because that's like the thing that the customers can or travelers can choose from. But for us, even with our network, we're not entirely covering the entire city on every corner that there is. So we also are working together with other companies that have like shared mobility or shared transport, for instance, bikes or e-bikes or scooters, and have like a combined product that we can offer with like a big part of the route on metro. And if you get to the metro station, there's a bike for you ready from, in this case, Donkey Republic, and you can finish your last kilometers with your bike. But you can all book it from our own app. So you have like one travel and one route that you can see, but you can also book and make sure that the bike is reserved for you through our app, and make your last miles there. So for us, it's also quite a new collaboration, and we first our first collaboration is then with Donkey, but there are more companies, of course, in Amsterdam that offer like bikes or e-bikes or whatever. Even shared cars, for example. That's also still, especially if you want to go a little bit outside of the city center and more like into the specific areas for events or whatever that you need like a car or a scooter for, that gets you there a little bit faster. So we're looking ahead to work closely with these kind of partners and make like one experience for buying a ticket from us, but at the same time, buying the amount of time you need for an e-bike or for a scooter that takes you to your destinations, and making sure that you don't have any challenges during the way, that you have to combine all kind of different apps and all kind of different subscriptions, but you have like one price that you can pay for both, and make your travel make travel during that day. So that's that. So I wrote it also down like more of a thing that we are doing, but also a question that we ask ourselves. So how do we fulfill our preferred role as a hospital guide? So that's like more of an ambition that we have for the city. We want to be like the guide that brings you through Amsterdam to all the places that you want to see and maybe even need to see. But our role is quite challenging, because of course we are mainly responsible for the public transport, and if you want to take a bike, then we have to also work closely together with our partners to making sure that it has like a seamless experience that you can get at once. So also for the upcoming year, we are also with the city of Amsterdam itself, with the local government, we are working further out this process that we have, and our collaborations that we have, and make sure that we are extended and do a lot of trial and error experiments to see what the best fit is to make this collaboration into a success. So just to give a quick overview on the challenges that we have, and I hope let me know if anything isn't clear or needs a little bit more explanation, but I wanted to share these challenges and trends that we see and developments, and that's also why I asked the questions earlier on, and I hope we can have like a discussion or interaction about those kind of subjects. Thank you.
Thank you much, Paul. I wrote some questions down for myself here that I was curious on hearing some more about. But instead of me talking, is there anyone? Sorry, is there anyone else that has any kind of questions regarding to Paul's presentation? Lars, seems like you're thinking of something.
Yeah, maybe a technical question, but we had a presentation from Ruter in Oslo like 1.5 years ago or something, and they said that using this debit card it's hard to actually connect to customer account, but in your concept it seems like it's very smooth. It doesn't matter if you use the travel card like for your own organization or any Visa MasterCard. I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, I think it's quite challenging, and that's like I think the big benefit that we have in the Netherlands, and you know, that's also that if I look at also other countries and how it's organized there, and we have like a centralized way of sharing the same technique and the same way of accepting specific cards and developing our platform like seamlessly for all the public transport companies that are in the Netherlands, and combining that innovation and making it more centralized helps us to go to this next step or next phase and remove those cards that we currently have, because we have like around 14 or 50 million of those cards still going through the system. So we have to migrate or move those cards to the debit card in the upcoming years. But now because the platform is ready, and we can prove to the customer, okay, this really works, and you don't have to do anything. You just pull out your debit card. You don't have to. It's not necessary to make an account, but if you do, then you get discount products. So if you don't do it, then you of course can travel, and you can go around the entire country. But if you want to have like a specific discount product because you use it quite often, or you have to travel daily, then an account is needed to get that discount. And then of course you get the benefit from having an account and having that connected to your debit card, and still don't need an extra card or an extra app from any of the public transport companies. But if you do take the app, of course, everyone is focused on providing more services and more benefits from their app, like good planner, good information about disruptions or anything like that. But we all were, we all benefit from that centralized platform that is now developed and live since last of 2022. So I think that's helping us a lot making this step.
Impressive.
Is that platform you're talking about, is that somehow connected to Salesforce?
No, it's not. No, so that's the platform that I talk about is like more of the machines in the vehicles where you do the check-in and check-out with your card, and that's all like done by a central organization that we are all shareholders from. So all the public transport companies are shareholder from that company that develops the technical part and the innovation part, from checking in and checking out validators and everything around it. Of course, then you get the part where customers buy subscriptions and buy products at a specific public transport company, as for instance, for a discount product from GVB. And then they come in our systems, and that goes through Salesforce to to connect to be in touch with the customer and give information, give new offers, services, everything else.
And I just have some overall questions about GVB. Do I get it right if I understand it like the GVB is owned by the city of Amsterdam? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and then all the drivers and like you mentioned, the trouble of getting hold of bus drivers. We of course have the same problem here in Sweden too. But I was just thinking that are these drivers, are they also employed within the GVB, or are they employed by some PTO instead?
No, they're all employed by GVB. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's
Okay.
also yeah, and that's I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing in that way, but yeah, they're all employed by us, so we are also responsible for getting those people and that staff in place. That's like part of the whole contract that we have, and we have to make sure that we do have a good HR department that's looking for new staff and the onboarding and the training and everything in between. But that's all in house. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's quite a big difference between the Netherlands and Sweden, I guess, because in Sweden, I think you might have I think you may know that, Paul, since you've been talking to SL in Stockholm. But in Sweden, most of the traffic is procured by the PTAs in Sweden. So the PTAs in Sweden, like for example SL or Västtrafik or Skånetrafik, and they are responsible for the traffic, but they procure it. So you have a PTO taking care of the traffic, all the operationals. Like employees, employ people, and getting all the schedules and stuff. So that's a different, but it doesn't really.
Yeah. I can imagine that there are definitely some benefits out of it, but it's not really my field of expertise. So it's a bit harder to to compare it and say, okay, this is like a benefit from this approach, and this is a benefit from this approach. So. But I know that in our country it's organized and that's also a bit of the challenge that we of course face, because everyone is looking for the same people. So yeah, that's not so we share a lot of technical developments and technical platforms, and we share also that we are talking a lot with each other about how we are going to make it easier, what is needed to make services connect smoother for the customer. But at the same time, of course, we are also competitors for looking for staff that's for the same staff that everyone is looking for. So yeah, we have like a sort of many different relationships with each other. So that's of course a challenge.
I have more questions, so I'll keep asking them since no one else raises their hands. You mentioned that you also offers like e-scooters and e-bikes within. Is that offered within the GVB app, or is it offered via third-party apps, or how does that work? That part?
Yeah, it's both, but we offer it in our app as well.
Okay.
So that's the collaboration that I'm talking about. So in order to do that, especially when it comes to like for example, showing where the e-bikes are is like the easiest part. But when you want to make a reservation or book or pay for the bike, of course, then you have to make a connection and also some agreements about how the payment is being handled, especially if it runs through our app and through our payments provider. So that's why I mentioned that our first collaboration and that we also have signed contracts and payment conditions with Donkey Republic is like an example that we can take the collaboration further, and that we can make it easier for the customer to also book and pay for their travel through our app and see the availability and see more details about the bike, how full it's loaded, where the closest one is, how specific like a damage on it. So yeah, that makes it for us, of course, easier to connect our travelers through our app and offer like one app that you can use to make your entire travel. But of course, you can also choose to not use it and download the app from Donkey Republic itself, and have an account with them. So it's up to the customer to choose if he wants to only use our app or use both, or that's up to. But yeah, we have an integration.
A question around that is it also so that you're looking into it, so it could be the other way if you're a customer of the bike sharing and use that app, that you also can buy a ticket on the public transport from that way, or is that something?
It's not currently in the because that's also from our end, of course, we offer it. We already offer it to other partners that they can sell our products. In this case, for Donkey Republic, they didn't do it yet. I don't know if they will in the future, but it's on the table. If we look at how we handle like reselling or kind of partnerships that they also can sell our tickets, that's something that we are already familiar with. We do it mainly with partners that also sell attraction and event tickets in the city, so combined with public transport and going to artists or going to a museum like Van Gogh or Rembrandt. And you can combine public transport and a ticket and sell it through like one retailer who is responsible for that. But it's possible. But currently they are mainly focused on their own business at this time. And like they're also newer on the market and they have a lot of things that they are focused on. But I don't. I would expect that at one point that it's definitely going to happen, but it's not something for that I know of is happening anytime really soon. But from our end, we're already taking the first steps, and we are, looking forward next year to even adding more companies that are also, of course, in Amsterdam, working in Amsterdam that also offer bikes and scooters. Yeah.
You had some questions, Paul, for us, and I'll just try to show them on the screen here. In just a second. Maybe 2 seconds. First questions you had, Paul, is what kind of tips and tricks do you have in guiding travelers through your network during the busiest moments of the day?
Yeah, so giving a little bit more context about it, like I mentioned about having some challenges within staff, we also see that our lines are getting busier, especially on the trams. So we have some trams that are going through city center that are like really full, and we of course want to guide some of those travelers to our metro system because that's most of the time also a good alternative and gets the customer even faster to this destination, but it's not always known which is the closest station that they can go to. So we want to, of course, give a little push or a little bit of a guidance from, okay, you can step in this really crowded tram, which we know that's like really packed, or you can go to the metro and you have more space and you get to the destination as well. So I'm curious because this is something that we face really as of latest in the last couple of months, and we are trying different things to move those travelers. And I was curious if any one of you guys have a similar experience with this or already some things that you have done that really work well, because moving customers from their usually route is not that easy.
Especially if there are like everyday travelers, I guess
especially
it's
then, because it's like a habit, and getting someone out of the habit is really hard.
Is there anyone on the call who have to be honest, Paul, I haven't heard that anyone in Sweden is doing this, but I don't know everything in Sweden, of course. So is there anyone on the call know anything about this in Sweden?
The only thing I can think of is during the pandemic that were some initiatives to show in the travel planner that this is a crowded departure and these are mostly not so crowded. But I'm not sure that actually it's built out of a system. It's more like predictions. It used to be crowded. It's not like a real-time update. There were some experiments, but I think I've seen it in the Västtrafik travel planner before, but right now it seems to be taken away because maybe people didn't use it. But maybe if there is a possibility in the future to communicate with beacons or something, that actually you passed this physical place and we want to send out something to inform you that you should do something about your situation instead of being sick and crowded here, go there instead and travel faster. But I'm not sure, maybe we don't have the representatives from the major cities of Sweden. It's Örebro is a big city, of course, but Monica, can you share something about your new BRT line? Do you work with this kind of communication to the customers, doing this with the Citylinjen? Is Monica still here? Yeah. Maybe in most cities in Sweden, it might not be the problem that too many people are traveling.
Yeah,
am I right?
I can imagine, and the thing that you mentioned with beacons is really interesting, because we are also looking into something similar, but not with beacons, but just through GPS data from the phone. And because of course we also already have something in place that you can see how crowded it is, but it's based on a model, and I think you mentioned the same. And it's like looking back and then predicting, okay, this will be a crowded line, but it's not real-time data. It's like data from before. But yeah, you want to predict as closely as possible to really point out, okay, now it's getting crowded, and based on the amount of people that are getting in, now is the time to send a message and say, okay, this is a crowded vehicle. You have to, or you can go to a different line. So yeah, we are looking into GPS, but that's of course something that you can only provide in our case through our own app. So you have to use our app to be able to make use of that services, because you have of course different opt-in which is needed. It's more, of course, more intrusive, because you have an opt-in that you want to use the GPS signal at all times in order to give advice based on where you are. So yeah, we are going to experiment with it in the upcoming year. And see how that will work out.
If a person who's traveling with the debit card has got an account for the GVB, can you actually communicate with them in some way, like SMS or so?
Yeah, we can communicate by email for most of the times. SMS will be something that we currently not have in place, but we are looking into it also together with Salesforce on a later moment in time. The first thing that we want to do is integrate our app and send push messages and in-app messaging through Salesforce in our own app. And after that, we also want to provide SMS as a service, but first in-app and app messages.
But it's a problem with SMS that it actually is a cost for every time you send an SMS. It's a little cost.
It is, yeah, it is, but it's something, that we take into account because it also costs us to send app messages. If you look at the what needs to be implemented and the amount of messages that you want to send out. So both ways are will cost something, but we also want to see how customers will react and which services that they which service do they prefer. So we can also send emails, and but knowing that an email is not that fast of a channel if it goes around these type of services or information that you want to send through. So we want to experiment with in-app messaging first and push messaging, and see specifically for this service that I mentioned. So to tell someone, okay, there is a delay, or it's too crowded, or we advise you to take the metro instead of the tram because of how many people are there now, and then go from there and take it step by step.
Just a comment on the in-app messages and so on. So what I see, other customers and so on outside this sector and segment and so on, you can see there is a lot of efforts moving into less SMS and maybe more in-app communication, basically from the cost perspective, but also that you get all information, in one relationship with the vendor and so on in one place, and you can have the history there in the app, and everything is more organized than just in a flow of messages in the SMS.
Yeah, totally agree. There are more benefits.
That is what we see.
There are more benefits to do it through that channel than through SMS. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So,
I totally agree with that, but we have a problem that people don't want to download more native apps, and they don't want different native apps for different means of transport. And even though they are very digital in other ways, when they travel, they love the debit card just to blip it or tap it. And then we have a problem how to get in touch with the customer that is like anonymous in our system. But as you told Paul, you actually have a possibility to connect your debit card to your GVB account. That's at least something, a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's also based on knowing that you are losing your connection through the card itself. That we still have what had in the past, and now moving to an account, and we think that we believe that if we apply enough benefits to creating an account and getting benefits on your travels, and even benefits on using public transport in general, like I mentioned, the information that you get. Yeah, we expect that creating an account within our system that will be will help in creating more accounts and having a better customer relationship through that. So yes, and it starts with offering the products through those accounts.
One question, Paul. I know a lot of organizations we work with and who work with a lot of consumers, or they have a lot of customer interactions in different channels and different ways and so on, and it's also maybe also connected to other data and so on. They have a challenge how to stitch activities and customer data and everything together to make sense out of it, so in next phase you can actually do the personal communication that you want that is relevant for that customer. So could you tell us a little bit about how you're thinking around this area, what challenges or what progress and so on you have there? Because I assume it's a big area for you as well.
Especially, definitely. And we of course also experience a lot of challenges on this part, because you can also buy a product for public transport at another company and have an account there, but still have a product that is also valid in our systems. So you can travel through our network, but we don't know who you are or what your contact is. So it's like a bit harder to get a connection, even if that traveler is using your network every day. It's harder to get in touch with that traveler in this example. So we are looking. We take into account that for a specific group we will never get in touch, especially for the type of products that we also offer for the more anonymous. So for the anonymous travelers, we have like the barcodes or e-tickets that you can buy like a one-off for a day or an hour. But we take into account that we are not able to get in touch with those customers, but we also think, okay, that's not really an issue, because we want to make sure that they can even if it is for a day or a weekend, that they can use our public transport as easy as possible, and that's getting hopefully the customer satisfaction, that they also, when they come back to Amsterdam, that they will use it again. But of course, for the frequent travelers, that's where we are really focused on getting those customers into our systems and offer services like I mentioned earlier about the disruptions or You know, when something happens on a line, maintenance or whatever, that we can tell those customers in advance that something is happening, and making that services as good as possible in a way to get more customers to give permission to receive like email or push messages or app messages. Of course, you need the opt-ins for this, and then build a relationship from there. So we are looking for more ways of getting services out that really help the frequent travelers in their day-to-day travels, and combining that in a centralized way, and connecting those customers through there, and building up that relationship further on.
On to your next question, Paul. What do you use and how to further grow the relationship with the customer?
Yeah, and I think
add
that,
something to that one.
I think that's the thing that we talked about mentioning. If you don't want to use the native app, or you don't want to have an account at us, or you think, okay, I just want to be I want to travel, but I don't want any emails or any communication from you guys. Then that's of course a big challenge because we want to, of course, provide different type of services, and also grow, and maybe do some upsell and cross sell, and of course that's like a thing that we are also looking into. But giving that, that we make it easier to travel with a debit and credit card, it makes it a bit harder to get them into your systems and be able to communicate with them. So we thought, I mentioned a couple of things that we are doing, like with the maintenance, and but I guess that's the same for a lot of you over there, to also communicate about services and maintenance, and in your planner. But maybe there are some services that we didn't thought of, and that work really well, and getting people into your systems and be able to communicate with them. So that's why I put this question here, because I think a lot of ideas are already out there, and it's best to learn from those experiences.
Is there anyone on the call having something to pass on to Paul here? Because I don't think I have that much to.
I heard something about a loyalty system. I don't know who mentioned it, but like a loyalty system, and where is the loyalty system based on? Is it based on do you get like points when you travel, or do you get like specific rewards after a period of time? Or I have a lot of examples heard about loyalty systems, but especially in public transport, I find it quite hard to find examples that really hit the spot, sort of say.
That was kind of our conclusion in Gothenburg. We met Salesforce in November too, that being a public transportation organization owned by the regions, it's quite hard to act as a commercial company. But I was formerly working at SJ, the state train operator, who actually since 2007 has had their loyalty program with points, that you can buy trips for points and so on. But as far as I know, it just doesn't exist in the PTA world. So we were very interested in, do you actually you don't call it like a loyalty program, it's more like the flex concept that gives you kickback or discount on if you travel more, and like kind of a capping then.
Oh yeah. And it's still in place? That's still something they work with, or do you know?
SJ, of course, since 2010 there has been other operators on track, and that made them develop this in order to keep their customers. I think that's 1.5 million Swedes within the loyalty program of SJ.
Oh, cool. 1.5 million, okay. And it's more of a kickback program, so
it's also with partners that you can actually use the points for hotels and so on, but that's far away from the area of public transport. I would say it's more connected to high-speed trains and long distance.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine that. And that's, yeah.
As for the PTA here in the region of Östergötland, I just recently noticed that they have some kind of, if you're a customer and have signed up on their like my pages and so on, you can access some kinds of discounts on different, hotels, training facilities, some boat companies and other places. So, but then you just get some kind of discount there for, I don't know, maybe a few percentage on the prices or something like that. That's one thing I just heard of just the other day. Actually, I don't know how common that is to use that kind of I don't know events in the PTA sector. To be honest, in Sweden, I don't think it's that common though.
And I know this type of rewards are also a lot of companies in the Netherlands also do this. Not only public transport, but other companies as well, offering discounts from other companies as a kind of reward after you order something in a e-commerce platform, and you order something and you get like a discount at another e-commerce platform that's quite similar, or maybe not even similar, but you get a discount because you ordered something. And we also had some examples in our, like for instance, in our newsletter. We did this for a while, so we placed these type of discounts specifically for our customers who opted in. But we received really similar effects on it. It helps on the short term. It doesn't do anything on the long term. It really depends on the benefit that you give. Like for going to a coffee shop or going for coffee and something to eat, or a restaurant or a movie theater or a musical, whatever. It really depends on what you offer and if they are going for it. And yeah, we didn't see anything on the long term that it had effect on a better customer relationship or the effect wasn't really visible. So we stopped with that channel, but because it was through the newsletter. But we are looking more into like contextual campaigns through our app, and mainly moved on or based on travel behavior. Like if you are, can give an example, if you are moving through our network at like before 6 a.m. or around 6 a.m., like the early bird travelers. Yeah, then we are looking into, okay, if we can focus on those travelers and they move through our app, then we can say, well, you are up early this morning. Here you have a coffee from us, and I hope you have a good day, something like that. So we're more looking into these type of contextual campaigns and how we can develop them and make these type of use cases and give like a discount or a free gift that really fits the moment and fits the location where you are. And I think, of course, that's a big challenge to combine partners with those locations and where the traveler is, and that is easy to use and easy to consume. But yeah, we are looking more into those type of contextual campaigns than like for a more general newsletter or general emails that we send out to a lot of customers at once.
Last question, Paul, you had here, and not being too many people on the call, so we'll just put it out there anyway. Where do you see your product development going, and what are the pains and gains?
So I mentioned a bit about our developments and the debit, and we just started, and I know you already have it for a longer period of time. So I assume you already have some more products based on the debit and credit card or on that system. So I was curious on where you see it developing and what works well and what doesn't.
Working with credit cards like you do, I don't think it's that common in Sweden yet. I mean, Stockholm does it, Gothenburg have it, Skånetrafiken have it, here in Östergötland you have it, and a few other places. Klas and the rest of you guys, do you know anything more about this than I do?
We discussed it on our network meeting. I think it was this spring in April, and we concluded that within a city zone it works well, but it's hard to change to another taxa when you travel in the countryside and you travel between counties, between major cities with the different counties. You don't know how much to charge the customer, since in Sweden we normally don't have checkout. They tried in Västtrafik in the mid like 10-15 years ago, and people forgot to check out, and then it didn't develop. So these debit card solutions, they work well within one zone counties or within cities, but we still have problems. But if you are able to connect your debit card to an account, you could set your traveler's profile. Actually, I'm a long traveler. I travel through borders, and I want to pay the double because I traveled the double distance and so on. So, but we have a problem in Sweden with the different standards. The ID-based standard in the Stockholm region is not the same as in Gothenburg and Skåne and so on. So we have a national standard called Bob, but it's not 100% used in all systems, which yeah, our development is tricky because of that.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, that makes it harder, of course. Yeah, because like you mentioned, also one other benefit to having an account for our travel with the debit card is also that you can, how do you say, if you forget to check out, you can adjust it through your account. So if you don't do it, we take a specific amount of money aside. So we say, okay, you forgot to check out. We take, I think it's 6 or 8 euros. So we take that out of your account because you forgot to check out. So that's like the general amount that we take out for the entire travel that day. But if you are, of course, if you did like a short trip, you don't want to have that amount of money taken off your account. So you will go into your account and you say, no, I forgot to check out, but I only traveled until this stop. And you can adjust it in your account, and then you get a refund on that specific amount that was, was taken out of by forgetting to check out. So yeah, that's another reason to have an account, that you can adjust these things and get a restitution if you if you see that something went wrong in your checkout. But I can imagine that if it's not similar at every place, then it's harder to install something like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the other 3, 4, 5 people in this call?
I think about Monica, are you still there? You've been working with this for a year at least. That Länstrafiken Örebro loyalty and keep track of the customer since your presentation in when it was last autumn. I think we lost them.
She's gone.
Okay. But it was very interesting, and we will actually from Samtrafiken have a deeper look into your solution, because I think we have a lot to learn.
But I think,
Yeah,
I
let me
mean,
know,
yes, now you're recording this as well. So if you have, I mean, a broad audience, so from other regions and so on, maybe that could be interesting just to distribute. And yeah, from our side as well. I mean, we wanted to put you in front of each other to discuss, I mean, the real problems and solutions you have, and we would be happy if you also could continue the conversation just without Salesforce as a facilitator for this. So I hope this was a good good way to get connected as well today.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Anders and Krista, for putting us in touch with Paul. And Paul, thank you very much for your time and your presentations. And Paul, I think you sent your slides to me, didn't you? Right?
Yep. Yeah, I
I
did
was just
send them.
thinking if I could pass them on to the rest of the people joining.
Yeah, sure.
And
Sure.
Paul, have you shared your email in the slides?
No, I didn't. So that's,
Otherwise, please do to Jens so he can distribute.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jens, you have all our slides also, so
Yes.
there is also the emails if you need it, for example, Claes.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you need anything more from Sweden, and I hope to see it sometime in the future on some events somewhere around.
Thanks. Yes, definitely. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, have a good day, all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.